Hey guys, so I was gonna wait a second to start the stream, but man, the market is dropping. Nvidia just dropped really quickly. It was pretty green on the day. It was up to like $99 a share. It dropped just now down to $96 a share. Now it's bouncing back to 97.20s, but it's still down. Apple is down pretty significantly. It dropped from 177s all the way down to 171s just now. Palantir as well. Looks like it's a broader market move from 177s all the yeah, I don't know if y'all heard what I just said, but the market just started tumbling down here. It was pretty green in pre-market, but a lot of stuff just dropped. Nvidia just dropped all the way down to $96 a share from 99. Apple dropped from 177 down to 170. Palantir's down. The nasdaq is down. You can kind of see this now here. Look at these drops just now. So very strange. I don't know if they're just basically Nvidia related. Here's the nasdaq 100 futures contract. It is down as well. Just bounced off of 17K. So let me see if we can figure this out. China announced additional, okay, this is what's going on. China has announced additional tariffs measures on the U.S. goods from April 10th, starting April 10th. So that is what happened just now. More tariffs. Yeah, so that is what just happened. Markets have negatively reacted early in pre-market. So that is what happened. Yeah, so this is what just happened right here. China announced additional tariff measures on U.S. goods from April 10th. And markets do not like this data at all. They are turning down here, turning down. We also have the, mortgage rates just came out lower than expected as well for a 30-year. We got the Fed minutes today. What a chaotic day, man. Honestly, it changed so quickly, too, because, like, I looked at stuff this morning. And things were looking pretty good, man. They were pretty green, you know, like bouncing back. Yesterday, I was on Top Step TV. For Power Hour, and the market just freaking turned, dude. The market just turned down, bro. Oil was crashing down to its lowest level in years, down to 55.70s. Wow. This is the lowest level in years for oil, I think. Yeah, this is the lowest level in years since 2021. Nasdaq at 1754s. Apple at 171s. Again, the drop that you guys are seeing right now is from the catalyst that just started this morning. China announced additional tariff measures on U.S. goods from April 10th. Markets are reacting negatively in pre-market. That is what just happened. What a crazy market. Sheesh, dude. Red Wednesday continues, and we got the Fed minutes report today. We got CPI inflation data tomorrow. We got PPI inflation data Friday. University of Michigan consumer sentiment data Friday. It's a crazy, crazy day, honestly. And honestly, our trading has been great. Our trading has been great. Like, just to put this into perspective, we went on Top Step TV yesterday and just killed it, man. We did great. Look at our trades yesterday. We made $300 something. Look at our trades. So our trading has been very, very good. Very, very good. I think when volatility is there, you know, it becomes easier to trade. Oh, you can see my trading graph here. This is my last couple weeks of trading. It's pretty good. Pretty good. You'd love to see it. We have not had a losing day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 days since we had a losing day. So we'll see if that continues. But man, the red action starting. Nasdaq testing 17,000. Some levels to talk about. 17,000 on the NQ is a pretty big level. It's just a big psychological level up there. The low The big level you want to watch is this low down here. So this low down here at 16,460, it's the low of the last 7 months on the NQ. It's a big milestone level, the low of the last 7 months. Again, 16,460 on the NQ. Apple, the low of the last 7 months is 168, basically. 168.05, but 168, basically, which we're honestly pretty close to on Apple. Nvidia down to 95s, 96s. Yeah, I mean, I made money shorting last night at the close, and it was pretty easy money, dude. Like, the momentum on the downside. Honestly, I had a little bit. I made $300+ yesterday, but I still had some FOMO for not making more. And we only had, like, one losing trade yesterday in this account, just to put it in perspective. One losing trade, so it could have been, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, bond yields. Taking a look at bond yields this morning. Probably an interesting thing to look at, but man, look at the NASDAQ holding strong at 17. Apple turning down though. Apple's really what you want to be weary of here. Looking at TLT. Bond yields are down this morning. Or not bond yields. Bond prices are down, which means yields are up, which is strange because it's something that I'm seeing a lot lately is that we have higher interest rate sentiment. So higher interest rate sentiment and weaker economic forecasts, which is backwards, just to put it in perspective. Like, that is backwards. We're supposed to have like, the weaker the economy, the lower interest rate sentiment we're supposed to have. And for whatever reason, we just don't have that right now. People are not optimistic regarding rate cuts because of inflation. And so we got high inflation data as well as weak economic forecasts right now. And so people are going to start yelling stagflation 100%. Like, that's what people are going to start yelling, which is a recession precursor. That's almost certainly going to happen here. And again, look at Nvidia. Technically red on the day. SPY. Technically red on the day. Apple technically red on the day. We got the NQ. Yeah, I gotta put some different music on. But what a crazy day, man. Yesterday was, that is. Today might be crazy. We got the FOMC minutes report. Palantir down to 76. Apple down to 169. Apple's the one I'm really scared of because look, here's this big low. 168s for Apple, and we are right here. So we are very, very close to the big low. Apple's about to break it. It looks like. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, this is the low of like the last. This is the low of the last. Oh, for Apple, this is the low of the last year. This is the yearly low for Apple down here, basically the yearly low. 168 yearly low. All right, China's Premier Li chairs a symposium on economic situation with experts in businesses, according to CCTV. Yeah, so China announced an additional 84% tariff on U.S. goods. The problem is neither one of them wants to look weak. Here's the thing, all right? The problem is neither one of them wants to look weak. The real issue, though, is that this is bad for both countries. Both countries rely on each other in these situations. And so this is not good for either of them, even though they're both trying to look strong, and I get it. But this is bad for both countries, you know? Yeah, I mean, we could get a quick rebound if all countries agree, but that's a big if, and I don't, you know. Yeah, does the market bounce back today or continue down? All right, so we got a poll. Does the market bounce back or continue down today? Nasdaq's technically red on the day, as we speak, technically red. Oil down to under $60 for the first time in years since 2021, 2022. Spot is zero. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he actually believes it's going to go to zero. He's probably just joking around, I'm guessing. We'll see. You know, we'll see. NASDAQ, Apple, Nvidia all looking pretty red, pretty brutal this morning and so it's a fun market. We'll see what happens. Honestly, the volatility is better day trading this stuff, but if you were stuck 60K a few years day trading before, I'm going to put this disclaimer up. Hey guys, remember, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I don't even claim to be a good trader. Sometimes I trade off stream. Understand CFTC 4.41. This is nothing here is financial advice. We are not liable if you lose money. Don't copy us. With that said and out the way, if you were short 60K, somebody says, day trading before I knew what I was doing and got opportunistic the past few days by shorting Apple and Tesla at the right time to get even, what would you do? Have you already made money shorting them? If you've already made money shorting them, I mean, realistically, I'd probably cut it personally and get out and be flat and even and celebrate making my money back. If I don't know, I don't know what I would do personally, because that's not really my style of trading. I would just be careful. That's what I would do. The volatility can be crazy on the upside and downside, and so I would just be careful if I were you. But if you've made the money back, I mean, hey, you know, I'd flatten out, and you might miss out on some gains to the downside, but you might also save yourself from losing more. You know, personally, that's what I would do, but that's just me. Everybody's different. We might continue down. You might miss out on some gains doing so, and so you got to be okay with that psychologically to miss out on some stuff if we do continue down. But you also got to understand if we do bounce back, you know, you're going to save yourself from giving it back. So we did a poll here. 64% of people think we continue down today. 24% think we're going to bounce. 12% think we're going to go sideways. We also have the FOMC minutes report. Nvidia bouncing back up a little bit here. So we are seeing some slight rebounds back up after these drops this morning. Apple back up some. Nvidia back up some. Apple upgraded at Jefferies. Ford downgraded at Bernstein. The European Union asked China to negotiate tariffs with the U.S. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Everybody's different. Personally, if I made my money back, I'd probably get out, and I would get out with the understanding that maybe Tesla does continue down, and you might miss out on some gains, but you're gonna protect the profits that you've made, and that's more important personally for me. Now, if you were up big, if you were like up 100K and like you had a cushion of like risk that you could take, that's a different story. But if you were down and you're trying to win back losses, like and you're back to net even or green or whatever, that's the time to say, hey, it's let me get out. But again, that's just me. I can't say what you should do. Everybody's different. Yeah, I mean, Johnny, I think you're looking at it in more of a technical analysis perspective, where we're looking at market reactions to economic reports and catalysts. Like my channel mostly looks at economic data. I mean, we do trading as well, but yeah, I mean, we're gonna look at the chart that's gonna show us the most information, which is the 1 minute chart right now. And so, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look at. I mean, we're also looking at economic reports. So, like, we're gonna look at the chart that gives us the clearer view of the reactions, which is important right now. I think with all the stuff going on, you want to watch a short-term chart right now, just to gauge like these big, not so subtle reactions in markets. I want to see when these lows break on Apple. These lows of the last couple years, or the low of the last year on Apple at 168. I want to see when this breaks. I want to see if Nvidia breaks the lows, or I want to see if Nvidia breaks under $90 a share too. So Powell's not actually speaking today, but what we do have is the Fed minutes report, which is a detailed breakdown on what was going on in the last Fed meeting and maybe some foresight into what they might do in May. And so that's something you want to pay attention to. We're going to be streaming that live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Nvidia is right at the cusp of green here. Look, here's the previous closing price. This is where Nvidia is at right now. So Nvidia is just on the cusp of red to green, green to red. We'll see if it holds. University of Michigan consumer sentiment data drops Friday after PPI inflation data also on Friday at 8:30. We also have CPI inflation data Thursday. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, fundamentals are going to trump technicals. So that's why I always try to tell people, like, you get certain people that, like, they only look at technicals. They never look at fundamentals. They never look at what's actually driving some of the moves. And they only, like, make up these things in their head of why these moves are happening on a technical basis. You know, like, yeah, it's not the bad news that we just got from overseas. It's instead the 9 and the 27 crossover that just happened, you know. And again, usually that's just wildly wrong. Most of the time it is like overseas catalysts and stuff like that that are moving these markets. An example of that is here. This is additional tariffs announced this morning. Look at this, drops in almost every major symbol. Look at this, Apple, NASDAQ, Nvidia, same time, big drop. Not a technical move at all. Purely a catalyst reaction to the news this morning of China announcing additional tariff measures on U.S. goods from April 10th. Markets are down because of it. Oil has been getting some of the hardest here after we had an oil speech yesterday. Oil down at the lowest levels. If you look at this, these are the lowest levels since 2021. So these are the lowest levels in 4 years. Nasty. Yeah, I mean, it could be both, Sam. That's true. I mean, we could have some technical movement. I guess my point is, here's my point, is that right here, you could have one of the best technical indicators in the world show up right here, right? Show up right here. On the bull side, you could have one of the best bullish technical indicators in the world show up there. We're still dropping on this news. And so, you know, the real issue most of the time, Sam, is that, you know, you got people that really, like, for whatever reason, they like ride for technicals for some reason. I'm not sure why. Like, it goes against some common sense, though, because everybody understands, like, this is catalyst driven. This drop, absolutely catalyst driven. But you got people that ride for technicals for some reason. I really don't know why. Like, I look at technicals all the time. I like technicals, but I recognize the real hierarchy regarding things, and it goes fundamentals then technicals, and that's just objectively true if you look at like stock charts or charts in general, futures charts, everything. That's just objectively true. But you could have the best bullish technical symbol in the world. This catalyst is still going to make these things drop, you know. And I think that's important for traders, especially, to understand the stepping order here in terms of movement, especially right now with all the tariff news coming out, you know. How much it costs Apple to make an iPhone? China went into the market close to announce tariff news. Yeah, for sure. Obviously, fundamentals lead. But yeah, 100%. No, we can have both, right? Like, you can have a big support and resistance level in movement, you know, big breakdown of lows, and then also fundamental news breaks. Like, that's true for sure, Sam. You're right. What I'm saying, like, what I see too many times is, like, technical people, like, okay, if somebody says, hey, I'm going to take a short here at $300, and then at 8 a.m. in the morning, and then at $7.99 you get some really bad news comes out and the market drops. A lot of the time the technical guys try to act like it worked because their technicals were correct, when most of the time it was catalyst driven, if that makes sense. So it just depends. Yeah. So it just came out that they are going to impose additional 10% tariffs. Yeah, they announced this, or no, I'm sorry, not additional 10% tariffs. They announced additional tariff measures on U.S. goods starting April 10th. April 10th is what the news is. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I like Frankie's candles. Yeah, but Frankie's candles is looking at Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin is different, and Bitcoin I think is actually really technically driven too. So I'm not talking about Frankie. Frankie's cool. He's been a like supportive person to my channel too. He's cool. I like his stuff. And again, Bitcoin I think it's a little bit more valid to be that way. But when we're looking at Apple, you know, or NASDAQ, or like something that's really fundamentally driven, yeah. Yeah. All right, so again, Nvidia up to 96.50s, Apple at 171s. We got Nvidia at 96.5s. SPY all the way down to 490s, under 500. Nvidia bouncing back and forth, red and green. The NASDAQ did bounce right at 17K though. So we did bounce right at 17,000, big psychological level. And just to put this into perspective, here is a 15-minute chart on the NASDAQ here. This 16,460 level is big, right? So if we break underneath this level, it can get rough real fast. So just be careful, guys. Be careful. You know, we get some good news, bad news, market reactions on the downside. Apple at 171.30s. Yeah, but again, watch 16,460s. 16,460s. You know, I also got to look. I mean, we're pretty far away from the halt levels, I'm pretty sure, right? So, all right, so U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs, reciprocal tariffs came into effect alongside 104% tariffs on China. April 10th, China's 84% levy on U.S. goods comes into effect. April 13th, Europe countermeasures against 25% steel and aluminum tariff to be fully in place according to prior reports. So, yeah. Yeah, Frankie's cool. Yeah, that's what made the market drop a few days ago. 104% tariffs overnight. Freaked the market out for sure. Whoa. I'm sorry. I try to like scroll away. I accidentally hit the video and it plays this crazy music. All right, guys. Yeah, and again, we're announcing a lot of this stuff on our X.com page too. So give me a follow on X.com at Beginner Trades. We report all the breaking news in markets, even news that we might not say here. That might not be big enough. We typically cover. Looking at our poll, still 63% think we're going to continue down today. 63%. Ugh. Could this backfire on president with potential for other countries? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Market probably already reacted to tariffs. I honestly think at these lows, people are happy with their position and will hold. Yeah, I mean, I tend to think long term we're in some pretty cheap levels. Short term, who freaking knows though? Like seriously, nobody knows short term. Anything could happen. I might start buying back in depending on how low we drop. But I'm going to wait for inflation data to show up first. I really am. I'm going to wait for inflation data to show up first on Thursday and see what that looks like. And then we'll figure it out from there. Is my plan right now. But again, some big levels to watch. All right, some big levels to watch. Obviously, Nvidia is a pretty deep way away from it. So like Nvidia, Nvidia, we got 86.60s. I think it actually got lower than that. Let me take a look. Hold on. Yeah, Nvidia got down to 83.60s. 83.60s for Nvidia. The low of the last like while. 83.60s down there. I'm gonna edit this, make this big bright in yellow. Okay, so this level 83.66 for Nvidia, big level here. Again, 16.460 on the NQ. It's the low of the last few. It's the low of like the last 7 months for the NQ. If we look at like the S&P or the SPY, that level currently is. Hold on. Honestly, for the SPY, it's only like a low of the last year and a half. Or no, the SPY, it's the low of the last year and a half, I mean. So the SPY, the low of the last year and a half, triggered yesterday. And it hit 481.80s here. 481.80s. Or no, actually, it's about 480. We'll call it 480 for the SPY. So 480 on the SPY, a very big level. It's the low of the last like year and a half. In NASDAQ, it's the low of the last 7 months. Nvidia... Yeah. Nvidia is the low of the last year. So we got some big lows testing here. I mean, Nvidia is still a really big ways away from this. So Nvidia is pretty far away. Apple is the other one that you probably want to watch here. Apple's getting very close to this level though. So if I put a 1 minute chart up, here's this level on Apple. This level is only right here. So we're right above this level on Apple. And Apple has been one of the stocks that is triggering this big downfall in markets, this big downward pressure in markets is Apple, because Apple is so negatively affected by these tariffs going on right now. Just so everybody understands, you know, just so everybody understands, like, that's what's going on right now, is that Apple is really kind of deeply breaking down. It started on April 2nd, and it's kind of continuing. And so, yeah. Yeah, I saw Greer. All right, Apple at 170s though. So again, Apple, look, this is what I'm worried about today. We get another dip in Apple. We break underneath this level. Very close. That might trigger everything else to start falling down. And that's what I'm worried about. You know, that's what I'm worried about. Again, in my actual trading though, I'm on like a 6 or 7 day green streak. Like, look, here is my trading graph. Since, what is this back to? This is my cumulative profit graph daily since 321 pulled directly from my trading platform. So this is my cumulative trading graph pulled directly from my trading platform. If you want to see like a bar graph of my daily P&Ls, so we've only had 2 losing days out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2 out of 12. So we're running over 80% accuracy. Nicely over 80%. So it's pretty easy to make money in this volatility. And we've been really nicely green. And we're also green in every funded account that we have. So Meta's getting clapped though. Is it really? Yeah, a lot of stuff's getting clapped though, man. Meta, that level is 465.60s. 465.60s. And again, I'm almost interested in starting to buy stuff back. We'll see. But I'm almost interested in starting to buy stuff back. I don't know yet though. We'll see if these downward actions continue. Again, Nvidia now red, NASDAQ red, Apple red on the day, I think. Let me make sure. Yeah, all of this stuff's red still. Yeah, the volatility makes it easy to make money, to be honest. It really does. But it's not going to always be this easy. Yeah, and you guys know me. Like, I don't even really give out stock picks. Like, I don't tell people to buy anything. Like, you know, it's not like I ever tell people to buy anything. Like, that's just not my style. Like, I'd rather not be a guru and just kind of tell people I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about and just do it that way. And I think that's the right way to do it, you know. Nobody freaking knows. Let people make up their own minds. Just kind of give people the data that they can use to make up their own minds is the point. And it's been a fun time to grow here, man. So, like, we started the stream up 30 minutes ago. We got 800 people here. And this is, you know, our streams have been averaging a lot. And that's been really, really fun to watch the growth. So, appreciate you guys. We got a good community here. We really do. So, thank you guys. 84% tariffs on U.S. goods. Yeah, that's what dropped the market just now. Is the announcement of additional tariffs on U.S. goods starting tomorrow. And again, tomorrow we have CPI inflation data as well here. So it's just stuff that you really want to be. You want to be weary of it for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you should buy what makes you feel. I mean, buy what you want. Ooh. All right. I don't really invest in crap coins. It's just not my style. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's coming, Taker. Yeah, I just don't think that's coming, you know. I just don't think it's going to happen, you know. All right, so NASDAQ under 17th. I mean, it could. Listen, you never freaking know. But I don't think they can use this trade thing to justify it. They'd have to figure out another reason. After that speech last night, you know, people are getting even more irritated. Well, oil is taking a dive, right? And that's an interesting, like, look. So this is what happened. All right, look at here. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's breaking under the low of today. It's not the low of today, but it's the low of the last 6 hours. All right, here goes the NASDAQ turning back down. Nvidia down to 95. Apple down to 168. Chaos ensues this morning, guys. Breaking lows right now as we speak. Here, look. The lows of the day are 16,735s actually, so breaking down. Thank you for giving us a space with no sales or anything, just chilling and trading. Hey, all good, bro. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Who knows, man? Who knows what we're gonna get? Oil still down to 50, under 56 right now for oil. And again, oil is what it. The president did a speech yesterday on, I think it was called like improving American energy or something like that, and that made oil dive down here. Like, look at oil. We put up a longer term chart on a 30-minute chart. Oil has broke 3-4 year lows yesterday. 3 and 4 year lows break on CL on oil. It's down to $55 a barrel. Yeah, so it's currently 55.69 a barrel for oil. Nasdaq got down to 16.9s. Nvidia bouncing right off at $95. $95. Problem is, yeah, I mean, market's dumping down. All right, so Walmart is going to invest in price as tariffs take hold. Yeah, we might get gas prices drop, but it's still not good. Yeah, what's the number from? I watched my wife and I watched Lawman. We watched Lawman. What is the number for oil? Like they say oil is good if it's below a certain amount and above a certain amount. I'm pretty sure it's below those numbers now. Apple actually recently bounced back up though. Apple went up to 169s here. So Apple bouncing back up. It's at 169.30s here. 169.30s, rebounding back up some. So we're watching that also here. Trying to figure out exactly. Maybe somebody in chat can help me out. Yeah, I mean we're falling quick. We got almost 900 people here before 8 a.m. So thanks guys, appreciate it. See if the market downfall's coming. $7 to $80 per barrel. Yeah, maybe. All right, so again, watch this level here, guys. Watch this level. Nasdaq still breaking down. All right, so they wanted to stay between $60 and $90. The quote is, you want oil to live above 60 but below 90. And don't get me wrong, we're still printing money at 90, but gas gets up over $3.50 a gallon. It starts to pinch. It hits 100. Every product in America has to readjust its price. $78 a barrel, that's about perfect. You know, brings enough profit to keep the engine running without tipping over into chaos, end quote. And this is a quote from the TV series Landman, which is about oil. Nvidia, and so again, point is, it's really cheap right now, $55 per barrel. Nvidia breaking down under 95s, Nasdaq under 16.9s, Apple treading really close to that multi-year low of 168 right now, guys. Really close to that multi-year low at 168. Markets are down across the world. Trade tensions are heating up. Even Alibaba this morning down under $100 a share. It's at 99.70s right now. So Alibaba, yeah, it's a great show. It really is a good show. Yeah, look at Palantir. Palantir's down to 75. It's a really weak spot too, man. Apple hitting 70, under 170s at 168. That's rough. Yeah, markets are tumbling this morning, guys. All right, so U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent says that the president's decision Oh, wait. Treasury Secretary Bessent asked about removing Chinese stocks from U.S. exchanges, and they said everything's on the table. He said they should come to the table. Interesting. So China filed new WTO, which is World Trade Organization, complaint against further U.S. tariff measures. Yeah, Apple. I mean, Apple is what's been causing this move. Because, I mean, you got to think Apple, a couple things to put into perspective here, right? Number one, Apple is the most heavy weighted stock. And I think both the S&P and the NASDAQ 100, it's at the top of weight, which means that it holds the most weight in the S&P and the NASDAQ, I think, right? Okay, so Microsoft. Okay, so here's what it is. So I'm sorry. Microsoft holds the largest market cap weight in the S&P. Apple holds the largest in the NASDAQ. But the point is, in the NASDAQ 100, Apple makes up almost 10%, 9.8%. And Apple just had this big rise back up here. Guys, a big rise back up. Let's see if U.S. Secretary Bessent says they are going to do the debt ceiling through reconciliation. The president just tweeted here. He just tweeted. He said, "This is a great time to move your company into the U.S. of America like Apple and so many others in recorded numbers are doing." Treasury Secretary Bessent says that they're going to do the debt ceiling through reconciliation. Europe trade chief discussed parameters to lower tariffs with the U.S. I don't know if this is what's influencing this stuff, but this is some of the reasons markets are moving here. Again, EU trade chief discuss parameters to lower tariffs with the United States. Maybe that's what's moving stuff, I think, maybe. Y'all be careful today, man. Apple's still down. But yeah, Apple's one of the most heavily weighted stocks in the NASDAQ and the S&P. And starting April 2nd, when the tariffs were announced, Apple started diving down, brutally down. This ultimately has spiraled a lot of the market down with it, and the tariff news has ultimately sparked this big downfall in markets. And so we had a little bit of a rebound here, but Apple's still looking pretty heavy. NASDAQ now over 17,000 though. And again, the president did tweet some here. I'm trying to get the full tweet. Where's he posting this stuff, though? Hold on. All right, so this is what he said. He said, "This is a great time to move your company into the U.S. like Apple, so many others in record numbers, zero tariffs and almost immediate electrical energy hookups and approval, no environmental delays. Don't wait, do it now," end quote. Still getting pretty close to these lows. All right, Tracker Terry Percent says that he thinks there is nothing systemic about deleveraging in the bond market. Apple at 169s. Treasury Secretary Percent, when asked about removing stocks from U.S. exchanges, he said, quote, everything is on the table. So China will take countermeasures, according to Z, to safeguard rights and interests. Trade battle here, guys. Trade battle. Spicy. All right, guys, look. So Apple just turned back down here. So Apple is about $1 a share away from these multi-year lows in markets here, guys. Multi-year lows, very close. Sheesh, dude. Yeah. Lululemon down to 240s. Nvidia at 95s. Apple at 168s. Apple's getting very close here, guys. Getting very close to this multi-year low. 168. We're at 168.55. Nasdaq's under 17,000. Nvidia under 96. Nvidia technically red on the day as well here. All right, so tariff update. 104% tariffs on China came into effect. China retaliates in a tit-for-tat move. Market awaits U.S.'s response. So this is what's going on in markets right now. Where's Coinbase at? Coinbase at 147s. Coinbase is down. Bitcoin, I heard Bitcoin hit its lowest level. Yeah, Bitcoin at 76,000. Oil's down, Bitcoin's down. I think we got to try to trade, right? I mean, if we break this big level, I might try to attack some stuff here. So let's get this thing ready to trade some today. All right, so we got some big levels in the NQ that we're watching here for sure. Let's get this ready. There should not be a response to... Yeah, I mean, I hope they get deals worked out, but who knows, man. Ford? Does Ford continue down? Yeah, Ford down to 840s a share. Honestly, we drew these levels yesterday. Like, just to put this in perspective, guys. So we drew these levels yesterday. Look at this one, dude. These held pretty strong too. 17,000, obviously a big level. This level worked. This level worked. And we drew these yesterday, these levels. So we're going to keep them on the chart because they look to be pretty nice. Look at 17,000 reject here. There's Nvidia. I'm going to put Apple up here too. Nasdaq's falling down. It's just so volatile right now, guys. Y'all be careful. Nvidia technically red. Nasdaq flushing. I don't know if I want to short here though. If I do, this is the account I'm on the big green streak on, so I'm going to switch accounts. Trade a different account. Just because it's too early to trade my good account. I'm going to wait until we get some more momentum on Apple. If Apple starts to close this distance between 168s, that's when we're going to get really interested in shorting, personally. But we got to wait for Apple to do it. I'm also going to make this a little smaller so we can kind of watch these stocks closer too. Here's Apple. Yeah, I'm sure the VIX is up today. Yeah, VIX is up to 56. Almost 60 again. That's not good. Markets are tumbling down a little bit more. Yeah, so it's not even 8 a.m. yet, man. We already got chaos in markets here, chat. Y'all be careful. Yeah, what are the rate cut odds, dude? I looked at those yesterday, and it was over 50% for a rate cut in May. Yeah, we're still over 50% for a rate cut in May. So, again, as of this morning, chat, we are still over 50% for a 25 basis point cut in May. You can see the 25 option is right here. This is a 25 basis point cut. We are at 52% versus 48% likelihood of a pause. Still pretty split down the middle. I think it all ultimately depends on inflation data here. Yeah. I don't know if cutting's going to help. Well, it'll stimulate the economy and help with recession worries. Might make inflation worse, though. That's why it depends on what CPI shows up as tomorrow. We got CPI inflation data tomorrow. That might influence things in a big way, and so we're just going to have to wait for that. We're going to stream that live like we always do. We got the Fed minutes report today. That might influence things as well. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, iPhones are not going to cost $3 grand. That seems like sensationalism. No offense. I mean, it's all good, but that doesn't seem to be plausible at all. Not within the next 10 years, I think. But who knows, man. Again, CPI inflation data tomorrow. That's a big report. We're going to stream it live at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Look at this drop in the NASDAQ here. I'm going to short this. It's a little risky of a short, but it's early. And I think if Apple breaks this level, which is getting very close to, then we're going to make money on the trade. Apple at that level here, guys. It's at that level. I'm going to double down on this trade. There we go. Took half off there. We're going to get out the rest there. We just made about $30. We might add a little bit more to this if we get a little bounce. Apple's right at 168. I'm going to short this again. See if we can ride it down. We already got a cushion on the trade. I want to see if Apple cracks this level. We should be pretty good. All right, we're going to cut that and just get out. Apple started to bounce a little bit here. So, again, we're currently up about $40 on the day in that trade. So we made about $40 just now in about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever that was. We did get a bounce at 168. So Apple did rebound right at 168. We'll see if it comes back down. But Apple did bounce right at that multi-year low for Apple at 168 here. Rebounding pretty quick too. So we'll see if 17 does anything to it right here. But yeah, that's a big rebound for Apple. It held at that support level. Oracle and Google Cloud announced industry first partner program and powerful new capabilities for Oracle database at Google Cloud. Yeah, I mean, bond yields, like, okay, bond yields are going up, bond prices are going down, which is very strange because, you know, generally speaking, when the stock market is risky, people flock to bonds, as well as, like, when economic risk increases, the likelihood of rate cuts and lower interest rate increases. And so, but we're kind of getting the opposite. We're getting cheaper bond prices and higher yields, which means we have higher interest rate sentiment, not lower interest rate sentiment, because bond prices and bond yields inverse each other, and interest rates and bond yields follow each other. And so if bond yields are up and prices are down, that means interest rate sentiment is higher, not lower, which is very strange right now when considering the risk of overall markets and the volatility that we're seeing here. All right, so Nvidia bringing agentic AI reasoning to enterprise with Google Cloud. All right, so we're rejecting at 17 here. We're watching Apple. Apple not under over 170 yet, still at 169s. Palantir still at 76s. Nvidia still red on the day at $96 a share. Bonds are down. This morning, oil is down big this morning at $55.50 a barrel. Getting a turn here in Nvidia specifically as well. What a chaotic market here. Here's a turn here, guys. So we're turning a little bit right now as well, chat. We are turning down here. We're turning down here. Red coming through here, guys. Look at Apple turning down at 168.60s, testing that 168 level again maybe here. I don't know. NASDAQ turning down too. It's at 69.3s.
All right, so analysts are starting to say Ford's dividend coming under pressure.
All right, so we started to edge closer here. Look at this level. Look at this level. So we rejected here off of this 960 level. Let's see if we hold now, though. Nvidia bouncing back up to 169s, though, so we'll see. But popping right back up. A lot of consolidation here around lows, though. So like markets, a lot of symbols are consolidating around big milestone lows. All right, so Fed's daily, which is a 2027 voter, says we have the time and space to deliberate on the next moves, according to LinkedIn. Again, Fed's daily says we have time and space to deliberate on the next moves. All right, so we're still testing this level here. Sorry, the word deliberate is both an adjective and a verb. And so you can use deliberate, like cautious, or intentional, I mean, or you can use it as a verb, deliberate. Anyways, NASDAQ's sideways, choppy, around big lows. So is Apple. Nvidia almost flat on the day, though. Yeah, so again, yeah, I'm going on the CME group. I want to look at the E-mini NASDAQ. It's down 1.67%, 1.67%. I want to see where the halt level is. So yeah, how do I see the halt levels? Do I just have to calculate it myself? Yeah, so the NQ gets halted after a 7% decline, 13% decline for level 2, and a 20% decline. Circuit breaker levels. Again, we're consolidating around major lows here. Major lows. Yeah, I was looking at the levels here. Bonds are down. Yields are up. Oil is down. NASDAQ is down. Apple is down. Nvidia is flat, honestly, which is good. Again, we're consolidating around lows. We're green on the day too, man. Honestly, we're green on the day. Again, we got the Fed minutes report today too, man. So y'all just be very careful. Be careful. I'm watching 17,000. Watching this low here at 16.85. So I think if we break under this low, it's going to ensue chaos. Or chaos will ensue, I should probably say. Apple, I think if we break under 168 here, this is a multi-year low. Here's 17,000 on the NASDAQ. Big milestone psychological level, 17K. That's a level we're watching, paying attention to. And look at that reject. So look at this. I'm going to reject Apple at 169.50s. Yeah, we also had mortgage rates show up this morning as well, guys. So on an interesting point here regarding economic data, we had mortgage rates show up at 6.61% lower than last time at 6.7%. So 30-year rates are decreasing slightly. Slight decreasing here. Still don't really have any economic reports for this morning, but this afternoon we do have the FOMC minutes report at 2 p.m. Eastern time that we are obviously going to be streaming live as it happens. So y'all be ready for that. FOMC minutes report live 2 p.m. today. Be ready. We'll see what that looks like. NASDAQ still battling that 17,000 level. I think we should watch 170 on Apple as well. 170 seems like a pretty big psychological level, as well as a previously confirmed level here as well. You can see how much like 17,000 right here has moved the NASDAQ short term. And I think the whole market is kind of in this waiting game where it's waiting to see what happens regarding the trade battles that's going on right now. Well, Nvidia is right here. So here is the previous closing price for Nvidia. Right here. That's the previous closing price. And so for a little bit, Nvidia was actually over that, technically green on the day. If it's below that, it's technically red on the day. And so Nvidia right now is technically slightly above it, although it's kind of retracing now. It's slightly below it. But we're kind of straddling that previous closing price on Nvidia, the red to green level on Nvidia is what I'm talking about. And then look at 17,000 reject on the NQ. Still watching 170 on Apple, 170 on Apple. CPI data is tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. Nvidia back green. Oh no, not this song. This song sounds like it's gonna be good, and then it's just not. All right, still battling 17,000 here. I'm not confident in the upward direction, though. I'm really not. Like, I think Apple's way too close to that multi-year low at 168 for my taste here for the long side. I think there's too big of a chance Apple turns to the downside, breaks 168, the NASDAQ follows it down, and we get more red action this morning. So, again, my hands are kind of off right now unless I'm shorting here. And again, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say here. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional, not liable if you lose money. I genuinely have no idea what's going to happen. But I will say be careful because a lot of volatility in markets right now. And again, if you want to check out TopStab, this is what we're trading on today. We are on a 7-day green streak. If we're green today, it's 7 green days in a row. We're green today on our account, $40 on a different account. It's not the same account that we're on the green streak on, but we are green in every single TopStab account that we have active right now. TopStab, great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money. You put up 50K yourself, you're probably going to lose money. TopStab, what they do is they give you a 50K demo first. They test your skill with it. If you can make 3K in profit without losing 2K first, following their rules, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. Prior to the split kicking in, you get to keep your first 10K in profit. That's very similar to funding your own account. But if you fail this, you're out $50 for the base one, $100 for the middle one, $150 for the top one. Noticeably less risk than risking thousands and thousands of dollars funding your own account. And most day traders lose. It doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders are going to lose. And so it's a lot cheaper, frankly, usually, at least in general, to lose here than it is to fund your own account 5, 10, 20 grand and lose that. No PDT and futures. I could day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q price action, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currencies as well. Very similar to day trading stocks, and they paid out millions and millions of dollars. They've been around for over 12 years. Just a great way to learn how to trade, less risk, pay that market tuition a different way than funding your own account thousands of dollars trying to look cool in markets. But they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. Some say I'm the top 3 most biased trader of all time ever in the world. But if you want to check them out, here is the link. Great way to help support the channel. We don't even claim to be good traders. Everything we do here is free. We don't sell a course. We don't claim to be good. And you know, we have one sponsor that we plug roughly 3 times a day in 3 hours. So one roughly every hour. And so, yeah, check them out. If you want to help support the channel, we appreciate it. We're still consolidating here, guys, so it's a good time to plug. Hey, John, why multiple accounts? Well, because to be honest, we've been trading a lot of combines and bad moments to trade our real accounts. We've been playing around trading combines, and we've just been able to get funded. You can have up to 5 on there. And, so why not limit risk, trade a combine account? If I get funded, cool. You know, if not, it's not the end of the world. It's less risk than blowing my account trying to trade some of this volatility, in all honesty. All right, here's a turn down here. Still holding under 17,000. Apple getting very close to 168, the multi-year low for Apple at 168. NASDAQ's following it down some here. Let's see if it tests it. Again, we're kind of consolidating very close to big milestone lows, so y'all just be careful. Hey everybody, let's not be super political here in nature. Like, let's not root for either side of the political, like, too heavily in chat. Like, we can comment on politics here. It's fine. But let's not turn it into a political argument on either side. I'm not on anybody's side here. I'm not rooting for either side. I am very politically neutral, and this is how I really am in real life. Like, I just look at policies, look at market reactions. I dislike the whole realm of politics, and I'd rather my stream not turn into some, like, arguing argumentative talking point about politics here. Just respectfully, let's keep it finance related, please. Thank you. Anyways, we did get a bounce back up. We're still very flat. Look at the range in the NASDAQ over the last 5-6 minutes. Look at this range. Very choppy, very choppy. Look at this. All right, so JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says sticky inflation will not go away quickly. Tariff volatility is, quote, serious. Need to show trade talk progress in order to calm markets. Yeah, the worry is high inflation right now, Chad. So again, if we get high inflation tomorrow for CPI inflation, everybody and their grandmother is going to be yelling stagflation. Remember I said this. If we get high inflation tomorrow, everybody and their grandmother is going to be yelling stagflation. Stagflation is an economic situation in which we have high inflation and weak economic data, weak economy. So, all right, so the president administration is revising the plan to impose significant port fees on Chinese-built vessels, citing Wall Street Journal sources in order to lessen the impact of U.S. exports. All right, so we just got that news this morning. Watch Apple this morning, guys. Apple's the one that I'm watching probably the most closely to all the other stocks. An example of like how I trade futures based off of Apple is like if Apple makes a big move to the downside and breaks a big milestone low,
the probability that the NASDAQ is going to follow suit is much higher. And so, like, if I watch Apple break a low quickly and the NASDAQ hasn't done it yet, I can piggyback off of that move on Nvidia or Apple and jump short on the NASDAQ, so forth and so on. I'm not telling you to do this. No idea what I'm talking about. Do not copy me. But this is kind of how I end up doing it. And sometimes it's the opposite. Like, sometimes the NASDAQ dropping will influence these other blue chips. And look at the NQ dropping down here. Nvidia down to 95.90s. I'm trying to see what big blue chip company is driving this down as we speak here. So look at the NASDAQ fall. Microsoft. It's not Microsoft. It's not Apple. It's Nvidia, I think. Could be Amazon. Amazon's falling down to 167s. Tesla? Okay, yeah. That makes sense. That's what I was forgetting. I was forgetting to look at one. Yeah, Tesla down to 220s. Yeah, honestly, my daughter likes them too, Kevin. My daughter's always like, hey, can I buy something from that website? And I'm like, yeah. And she'll spend like $60 and get like boatloads of stuff. It's great. Honestly, it's a great website. And so maybe she won't be able to use it now. Meta hitting $500 a share. Hey, thanks, Lewis. I expect all the bank earnings Friday going to be worse too. Yeah, bank earnings Friday as well. We got CPI inflation data tomorrow, PPI inflation data Thursday or Friday, bank earnings and University of Michigan consumer sentiment on Friday. So it's honestly a pretty big day Friday. We got PPI inflation, we got bank stuff. It's gonna be huge. Yeah. All right. Apple 169.10s. NASDAQ dipping down to 16.93. 16.93s. Nvidia at 96. No, you can't trade stocks. It's just futures. Bitcoin down to 76. Does the market crash continue down today, guys? 61% of people votes out of 1,400 votes said yes. 24% of people think we bounce. 14% of people think we go sideways today. The NASDAQ slash NQ is the futures contract for the NASDAQ slash NQ. NQM25 is the current symbol. All right, guys, we are at 16.95, 16.95s. We are very flat right now, though. Honestly, the whole market is in apprehension, waiting to make a decision here in terms of directions. Yeah, you got to pay for futures data there. All right, so look at the 960 reject here. Apple's very close here too, guys, so y'all just be very careful. We get the FOMC minutes report today as well. Look at that 960 level hold. Yeah, Pawn gave me the idea of like doing a daily report on the levels that I think we should pay attention to in major symbols and futures and stocks. What do you guys think? That's probably a good idea, right? To a certain extent, David, yes, but it's not that easy. It's a risky thing, I guess is the point. It's a risky thing. Is the issue, like it could work, but it's risky. Is the point. All right, Nvidia bouncing back up a little bit. Nvidia just went green again on the day, technically green. Yeah, so y'all just be careful. I think the problem, though, right now with that thesis, David, is that yields are not going down. They're going up, and bond prices are going down. So yields are going up, not down. Bond prices are going down, not up, is the issue here, Which, I mean, it kind of explains the risk. Yeah, it's a risky thing, right? Because, like, again, that's under the assumption that bond yields are going to decrease in bond prices because of them. Like, okay, so this is what you got to understand. You got risk on assets, risk off assets. When the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, the VIX is high, the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow are risky and crashing. What do people do, right? People say, okay, time to take my money out of stocks and put it into treasuries because treasuries are guaranteed yields, right? So treasury returns are guaranteed by the U.S. government. And so whatever yield, like let's say the 10 years currently at like 4 point something percent, that means you buy $100,000 worth of 10-year treasury bonds. Every year they're going to pay you $4,000, which is 4% roughly. And at the end of that 10-year period, you're going to get your 100K back. So you're going to make about 4% interest annually from those bond purchases, right? And those are guaranteed by the U.S. government. And so if the market is crashing and you think the market's going to be down, people generally flock towards the more guaranteed returns of bonds. And when everybody starts to buy bonds, the bond prices go up and the yields go down typically, right? And yields and interest rates also follow each other. So if yields are going down, interest rate sentiment is lower. The issue right now that we're seeing is that even though we're getting this massive downfall in S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, we're getting this big correction, bond yields are going up, not down, which shows a higher interest rate sentiment, not a lower interest rate sentiment. And this is in the mix of a market in which a lot of people think that the current quarter's GDP is going to be negative. A lot of people think this last quarter's GDP, quarter one of 2025, is going to be negative or close to it as well. So we're seeing weak economic data, and the only barrier for lowering rates is inflation, because, if the Fed lowers interest rates, gives everybody cheaper access to money, people tend to spend more. And what happens when they spend more? and prices go up. Businesses can raise prices in that regard. And so that's kind of this weird situation that we're in, where we got economic weakness, downfalls in markets, bond yields are going up, not down, higher interest rate sentiment, not lower interest rate sentiment. A lot of people are going to consider inflation still to be an issue as well, which is why tomorrow's CPI inflation report is very relevant in the current landscape of things. And so in the end, it's not a perfect science in economics and markets. And, you know, we're not really seeing the expected reaction in a lot of ways. So it's just a very sticky, weird, risky market. Y'all be careful is the point. Yeah, you can see yields right here. So here's the 10-year treasury yields that I just referenced, TNX, CGI. Look at the gap up. So again, yields are not going down, which means a lower interest rate sentiment. Yields are gapping up today. They're at almost 4.5%, which means you buy 100K, you're gonna make 4.5K a year. And this is annualized interest rate. To look at TNX, you move the decimal place over to the left. 1. And you'll get the interest, the actual yield, which currently is 4.5%, 4.46%, just to round up. So it's a crazy market right now. A lot of craziness is going on. I love you. Have a good day. A lot of craziness going on right now. A lot of interesting market moves. Hey, bud. All right, guys. So, yeah, sorry, I had to give my son a hug goodbye. Yeah, recessionary talk. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly on the board right now. And again, we got bond yields spiking, which means higher interest rate sentiment, not lower interest rate sentiment. Again, tomorrow, inflation is going to be important. You know, another really important metric for quarter 1 of 2025 is this month's GDP report, which should happen not next week, but the week after next, I believe. That's a very, very relevant report too. No, I mean, the government's going to pay out. If the government didn't pay out, you got a lot bigger problems, you know, than bonds not paying out, in all honesty. All right, so we're still coming down a little bit here on the NASDAQ here. We're down to 1962s, which is kind of the floor of the last 30, 40 minutes. Still consolidating around lows, so I'm not really interested in longing anything, but whew. All right, we got the Fed minutes report today, guys, so y'all be ready here, honestly. Yeah, gold. I haven't honestly looked at gold. Let's take a look at it. Here's gold. Gold's all-time high. Or no, gold's not all-time high. All-time high is 3,200. But yeah, here's gold. So gold has obviously been loving everything going on with the craziness of markets. Gold has honestly been loving everything going on. Yeah, let's keep it non-controversial in here, guys. Politically and others, you know. Tesla coming down under 220s here. Pineapple on pizza. Gross. All right, guys, we're coming down here. All right, Japan's MOF and Canada have agreed to cooperate closely to maintain global market stability. Bitcoin's still at 76,000. Nasdaq still breaking down. Look at Apple breaking down as well here. Whew. You know what? I gotta short this. I gotta be careful though. I don't want to get stuck in too much. Apple looks weak, so I just want to hold this. Actually, Apple looks like it just retraced back up here. Let me cut this. So we lost $13, still green on the day. Apple looked like it retraced back up, so. And I don't want to get stuck in like a choppy market. We might continue down here, but not worth the risk. We're nicely green on the day, so we don't have to worry too much about it. I need to see more confirmation. We're very flat at this point in time. Let's watch 170, I guess, on Apple. Yeah, Bitcoin's kind of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of thing. Bitcoin's still one of the best performing assets in the market over the last 30 years. It's one of the single best performing assets of anything, you know. Yeah, it's always the end of the world, but in the end, you got to just understand. The people who lose the most, to be honest, and again, I'm going to preface what I'm about to say, not an investment professional. I might be wildly wrong. Don't copy me. Not financial advice. Do not copy me. Understand CFTC 4.41 and all the other good stuff I could say. The people who lose the most during crashes are people who get emotional and sell after we drop big, to be completely honest. The people that make the most are typically people who hold strong DCA into the drops, and they usually do fine. And so it really just depends on, you know, what happens here, of course. Like, looking into the next few years, it's pretty probable we bounce back, but you never know, right? You never know. We could keep dropping big. I'm going to wait for CPI inflation data to come out, and then maybe we're going to start buying stuff. But we're going to wait until tomorrow, at least, to see if we get some good data first for inflation. If it's bad, we'll probably wait still. So, again, y'all just be careful. Yeah, like, hey 7-5, let's please stop being like super politically divisive. You know me, I'm not really rooting for either side, but like there's not really any value there, and it's just kind of politically divisive, bro. It's kind of starting arguments, which I'd rather my chat not do. And again, just to put this into perspective, I will start putting people in timeout for the rest of the day or banning people if they argue too much or they're sparking too many arguments. Hope you understand. You know, let's keep it civil. And again, you guys know me. I'm very politically neutral. All right, guys. So PC shipments apparently grew the fastest in 4 years. PC shipments grew at their fastest quarterly pace since the pandemic after companies like Apple Inc. to Dell Tech, buckled down product deliveries around the world before tariffs hit. Laptops led the way as the entire spectrum of desktops, workstations, PCs rose 9.4% to 9.4%, almost 10%, to almost 63 million units in the first quarter. Look at markets bouncing back here. Yeah, but when we're just calling names 7.5, it doesn't really accomplish much. That's not really civil. Tesla at 222s, still down big on the day. Nvidia back up to green on the day, so we are getting a rebound here. All right, so the U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessett's prepared remarks make no mention of the president's tariffs and their impact on financial markets. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really targeting either side, Eminem. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really targeting either side, to be honest. Like, people have been insulting both sides, and I'm just trying to tell people to keep it respectful on either side. I just don't want it to turn into like a big political arguing point on either side. I'm not really rooting for either side. I'm very politically neutral here. I'm not really sure if you're saying I'm supporting which side. I'm not really sure which one you're thinking I'm supporting. I'm just asking people to not just kind of, let's just keep it respectful here. I don't want it to turn into some big political arguing points. Like, what I recognize here is we have people from both sides of the political spectrum that come here and hang out in the morning. I'd rather it not just turn into a bunch of name calling, on either side for either one of them, So that should be perfectly reasonable, I think. I feel like the market is out. So many trillions of dollars that moved out. I think they'll go. Yeah, it's all good, guys. It's all good. Like I'm saying, I'm just asking everybody to just respectfully, let's just not argue about politics. I know it's kind of hard not to with the current landscape of things, but yeah. I'm the Michael Jordan of live streams. Thank you, 7.5. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you, sir. Yeah, honestly, it is a different time. It is a different time. Like, the markets are kind of crazy right now, so it's really hard to differentiate. And again, I really don't support either side. Like, I'm very neutral. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm just here to watch. I'm just here eating popcorn, watching the market go down. I'm not getting paid to give advice, but yeah, I mean, it's industry standard to put up disclaimers telling people it's not financial advice. And so as long as it's a generally accepted standards and practices, I'm pretty safe. And so you better believe I'm going to put those standards and practices to work and put that disclaimer up. Of course I am. Everybody does. I would say, like, when I look at my disclaimer, it's one of the top 3 greatest disclaimers on YouTube right now. Let me know your ranking for it in chat, but I would say it's definitely top 3-ish. Hey, what's up, Liberty? Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, definitely top 3. Yeah, people are so emotional about politics as well on both sides too. Like on both sides, Like, if I say, "Hey guys, stop arguing about politics," they say, "Well, you didn't do it with our side." And it's like, dude, I don't care about either side, man. I really don't. Like, come on now, guys. All right, so FT reports there's been no discussions between China and the U.S. about resolving the trade battle, according to the sources cited. This is FT reports, Financial Times. Market did bounce back, though, so look, hold on. So market's bouncing back. Let's see if there's a justification for this. All right, so yeah, Treasury Secretary Bessent says it's Main Street's turn now, not Wall Street. All right, Treasury Secretary Bessent says Wall Street has grown wealthier for 4 decades. For the next 4 years, it's Main Street's turn. Do you short this big rebound back up here, guys? I don't know. You be number one. Thank you, sir. I know a person who is analytical like you. You do have a personal view. You just don't want to express it. I mean, of course, I have personal views. Nvidia rejecting down a little bit now, though. So let's take a look at Nvidia here. Of course, I have personal views, but honestly, I dislike the whole realm of politics. I think when you get to the tippity top, it's all the same anyway. And I think the more wrapped up in it you get, most people are pretty even right down the middle, I would say. Like, not right down the middle, but most people are like roughly middle, in all honesty, right? And I think the farther you get on either side of the spectrum, towards either side, the less intelligent you probably are, is what I honestly view. And again, this might ruffle feathers, but that's honestly how I look at it. Like, radical on either side is usually wrong, in my opinion. Like, the reality is most people are reasonably somewhere in the middle. Now, somewhere, right? Like, roughly in the middle. So you could be on the left, you could be on the right, but as long as you're close to the middle, you're probably a pretty reasonable person. The ones that get super ultra on either side are usually kind of just unreasonable. And again, I think logically, most people are reasonable. You know, most people are reasonable. But I just dislike the whole realm of politics. I don't let it take up too much of my life unless it really influences markets. And just try not to argue with a bunch of people on either side about it. You know, people are hyper emotional about their political views and stuff like that too. So no matter what I say, people are usually going to act like I'm against their political side, which I'm usually not. And it's just kind of how it goes. That's why I dislike the whole realm of politics anyway. But the NASDAQ moving up. We're over 17,000. Over 17,000. Nvidia at 97.50s. 97.50s. Hey, thank you for the membership. I've been allowing the political talk a little bit more than I normally do, to be honest, just because of the landscape of stuff going on. And again, if we're talking about economics and reactions and markets, it's fine. But if we're just name calling and arguing with somebody else, you know, it's not really productive. All right, guys. Again, NASDAQ over the 200 exponential on a short-term chart, over 17,000. This is a strong bounce back here. Tesla now technically green on the day. Nvidia green on the day. Bitcoin's pushing towards green on the day at 77,000. Amazon at 170s. Palantir at 78s. Nvidia at 98s. Yeah, it's all a pendulum anyway. All right, Amazon at 170s, Palantir at 78s, Nvidia at 98s, Microsoft. So a lot of stuff actually just turned green. Next level I got 17,150. Let's look at 17,150. Apple did hold at that 168 level. Very interesting. Actually, technically broke the lows down here at 8 a.m. market time, and then rebounded right back up. So it technically broke these lows. The previous low was 168 something. It was like 168 50s. Got down under. Bitcoin back up. Tesla at 222s, 223s. Amazon up to 170s again. Palantir, Nvidia. Let's see if Nvidia can get over $100 today. Again, I'm watching 117,150. So. All right, so FXI is the Chinese market. All right. This is China large cap ETF. They're coming down too. So this trade war on both sides is negatively affecting everybody here. Here's the Chinese markets, just to show you the parallel view of the S&P right now. It's a daily chart. Again, you can see how similar our markets look. You know? Look how similar. So Apple just technically went green on the day, chat. Apple technically green on the day. I get my streaming news from a lot of different sources. All right, so look, here's 150. It's right around here, actually. I'm gonna put it up right here. I might try to short 150 here, but it's a risky short. I'm gonna enter here, add if it bounces up there to 150. See if it comes back down to that 200 exponential. Take some risk. All right, we're basically up there. I'm gonna short. What a pump up over 150 though. You don't love to see it. Yeah, I gotta cut this, at least most of it. We'll let 200 work, but I'm not really happy about it. It's a big pump. Yeah, we gotta cut it. Just a huge surge here. We're gonna wait. I'm not gonna trade this account anymore. We're gonna have to come back to it and trade this smaller one. But yeah, the markets are honestly surging back up. Nvidia surging back up. Let me see if there's any news that I'm missing. The tariff levels are a ceiling if other nations don't retaliate, is what he just said. Interesting. That's a big surge down here. All right, so we got some drops, corrections at 2, but market is still rebounding back up very strong. And you gotta just be careful here, chat. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with this, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of stuff just went green. Tesla went green. That's what's driving the market up right now. Yeah, see, I was shorting this too. I just didn't quite catch the short. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. So we ended up holding at 2 instead of 150. 150 was the level I targeted. We ended up holding at 2. Here's the 200 EMA, though. And again, we got the Fed minutes report. It's almost 9 a.m. in the market. Almost 9 o'clock. I just don't know if I want to short this again. I'll try here, but it's risky. I'm not going to take too big of positions here. I'm going to see if we can break down some. I want to see if 50 holds, but we've done pretty well with the current volatility here, but it's also just a risky time. There we go. Slightly green. I do not like that pop-up at all. I'm gonna have to go and cut it. So we're slightly red on this account. We've had 6 green days in a row on this current account though. Or no, this is actually not the account. We did reject at 150. We'll give it time. We got time today. Apple just went red on the day too though. It's at 172. So, although it is right at the VWAP here. So not really doing the greatest this morning. Yeah, so we are red on the day right now. Treasury Secretary said, I will take a lead negotiating role with tariffs. We're overwhelmed with nations wanting to come to DC to negotiate. We have 70 negotiations lined up. Tariff levels are a ceiling if other nations don't retaliate. Where's Baba at? Yeah, you can see that this is Chinese ETFs right here too. See, my short would have worked at 150 as well. Just gotta learn to play them a little bit better, but whoa, look at that fake out there. Glad I wasn't in this. Look at this green move here, chat. Look at this. Look at this right now. Whoa, hold on. Let's see what this breaking news is. Something happened. Some type of news is breaking. All right, so it's imperative Republicans in House pass tax bill. Traders see more than a 60% chance that the Fed will start interest rate cuts in May. Yep. Hold on, let me see. Interesting. All right, so the president says it's imperative Republicans in House pass tax cut bill. I don't know if that's moving markets. We don't really have any other economic reports right now. Let me check other sources. All right, so Fed Cashkari announced tariffs are much higher and broader than expected, resulting in larger economic effect and shock to confidence, according to Cashkari. Look at this volatility showing up. He said near-term inflation will climb, purchasing power will go down, investments will likely be lower, GDP will be smaller due to tariffs. The hurdle to changing the policy rate has increased due to tariffs. What a wild market, guys. Y'all be careful, man. Yeah, it could be the 9 a.m. volatility. That's true. Cashkari speaking as well right now. He said the risk of unanchoring inflation expectations seems to have increased notably. The bar is higher. All right, so again, just to put this into perspective here, Cashkari spoke. He warned inflation expectations risk becoming unanchored. Tariffs are a major shock, broader and more damaging than expected. Near-term inflation, rising GDP, shrinking. Rate cut bar is higher now, but no policy move is off the table. Anchoring expectations is the priority, he says. Again, we're posting all this stuff to our x.com page here, chat. So if you have not already, give me a follow. If you want kind of a summary of what Cashkari said, give me a follow here. Here's the actual post we just made that influenced the market. All right, so the EU adopts tariffs on 21 billion of U.S. goods and metal disputes. Yeah, we've had multiple really nice green days, but then today it's kind of, we're down a little bit in two different accounts. First account we're mostly flat. Second account where we've hit our max loss, which is a couple $100 on that one. But yeah, we're still okay. We'll see if we go green. All right, guys, we got the opening bell coming soon here. Chat, opening bell coming soon. Y'all be careful, man. Let me hit this. Hold on. I gotta pop this chat out a little bit. Market's honestly bouncing back though. It looks okay. Yeah, where's the E-mini at? Almost to 5,000. Here, why are you posting the Twitter again? Here, it's all right, Sam. Yeah. Oh, sorry, work. Yeah, it's at beginner trade. Sorry, I deleted it. Yeah, you can scroll up and see it. We posted it above us if you want to check it out. We cover a lot of this breaking news as it happens, so. All right, so we're still heading up, guys, heading up. Let's watch 17.3 right here, 17.3 or so. Let's see if that holds. Kind of rebounding from a lot of these drops. We'll see if the market continues down at the opening bell. Yeah, I mean, D-Man, let's not be making too political, guys. Yeah, I saw that, Tiago. Again, friendly warning, I will start putting people in timeout if y'all continue to try to, like, stroke political arguments. No reason to, guys. Come on now. Like, it's fine if you're talking about policies, like direct policies or market news or whatever. It's another thing if you're just trying to argue different political sides here. It just doesn't do any good. Tesla at 225s right now, 225s. NASDAQ back up 217, 272s. Let's see about 17 threes here, 17 threes. Yeah, so the ES is now over $5,000 again. It's at 5,001, which is the S&P. The Fed minutes report is at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, guys. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. We are going to stream the entire thing live like we always do. All right, here's 17 threes. That's the level we're watching right now. Let's see if that puts a short-term stop. Markets are rebounding back up, though, here, which is good. All right, there's 17 threes. So a couple things here, chat. A couple things. The U.S. Energy Secretary Wright says that they will discuss on visit to UAE supporting announced investments into the U.S. enhancing global energy security, according to the UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates State News Agency. All right, so we just tapped that 300 level here. Just tapped 300, and now we're coming back down. All right, so look, we rejected right there at 17.3. This is why we look at my levels here. That's a big rejection at 17.3. It's still, I mean, we're obviously still pretty green over the last couple of minutes here. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of people here right now, so I'm talking to, I'm trying to do my best to talk to whoever talks, but the EU commissioner says it will impose first countermeasures against the U.S. on April 15th, says it secures backing from European countries for first countermeasures against U.S. tariffs. More tariff news. I'm going to put that up in chat as well, make some posts. All right, so look at that decrease right there at 17 threes, coming all the way back down here. We got 20 minutes until the opening bell, chat. 20 minutes. Yeah, so we just hit that 17.2 level here as well. All right, now we're under 17.2s again, starting to pull back some here, guys. Apple right at that previous closing price, that red to green level. Yeah, dude, we're having huge moves in pre-market, to be honest. And it's still a pretty risky time. All right, so now we're coming right back down. Yeah, are bonds moving up? Yeah, so bonds actually bouncing back here. Bond yields decreasing, which is kind of what people want, I would say. They want lower interest rate sentiment, and that's kind of what they're getting. Bond yields have decreased down to about 4.4%. Bond prices in Twitter, and if we're looking at like long-term bonds like TLT, they're up to 86.50s right now, 86.50s. Market's starting to fall back down, though. Apple now technically red on the day. Nvidia and Tesla still technically green. NASDAQ is NASDAQ technically red on the day again, so going back and forth. It's at beginner trades. What is Jerome Powell speaking for next week? I don't think he is speaking next week unless we get the semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress next week. That's the only thing I can think of that he might speak in. Yeah, I don't show any scheduled speeches from Jerome Powell, but I could always look. Could be the semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress. Last one was... Last one was in July, actually. Last year. So. Today we do have the FOMC minutes report, though. So that's like a... influence. Yeah, coal is honestly moving kind of out there. Oil has been falling down really quickly, too. Yeah, there's a, again, I'm going to say this quote again. The quote from the show Lawman says, quote, "You want oil to live above 60 but below 90. And don't get me wrong, we're still printing money at 90, but gas gets up over $3.50 a gallon. It starts to pinch. It hits 100. Every product in America has to readjust price. $78 a barrel. That's about perfect. Brings enough profit to keep the engine running without tipping over into chaos." Oil this morning is currently sitting at $56 a barrel, under 60. And that is from the show Lawman. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes. Or Landman. Sorry, not Lawman. Landman, you're correct. Sorry, Femi. You're actually right. Landman. Billy Bob Thornton, the heartthrob. Obviously being sarcastic, guys. I like Billy Bob. What a name. Yeah, where's Alibaba this morning here? Under 100 right now for Alibaba. Under $100 a share. Yeah, it is a great show. Honestly, I'm bummed 1923 ended. My wife and I just finished the series finale of 1923. I'm kind of bummed it's over. Really good, really good. Great show. All right, so NASDAQ under 17.2s now. Yeah, I mean, we've watched Yellowstone. We watched 1883. We watched 1923. We watched Yellowstone. So, yeah, we like it. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. All right, guys. Tesla at 225s right now. 225s. We're kind of consolidating now. A lot of stuff's still kind of iffy, but yeah, we got to watch a couple things this morning. FXI. Chinese large cap ETF, FXI. We got to watch Nvidia under $100, but edging closer to $100 a share. We got to watch Apple here, which is honestly the symbol that sparked this big downturn in markets following the tariff news, because Apple and these tariffs do not necessarily mix well. Apple's margins are going to be a lot worse with these tariffs. And so Apple is very close to multi-year lows at 168. Nvidia under $100 a share, but obviously with the crazy gains that the market has made, a lot of them due to Nvidia, it's relevant to watch it this morning leading into the opening bell. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil the ending for 1923. Just good show. Yeah, very sad, but good nonetheless. Yeah, it's the time to buy longer term call options. NASDAQ at 17.24s, rebounding back up still. A lot of stuff honestly green. Apple technically green. Nvidia technically green on the day. Tesla technically green on the day. The NASDAQ is kind of going back and forth between that red and green level. Oil is honestly pushing up to 57 here. NASDAQ currently sitting right at the previous closing price of the NQ, around 17.25s on the NQ. Very close. And again, we're leading into the opening bell in about 12 minutes here, so. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Not this song again, bro. How are we back at this song already, dude? Alright, dude, I can't handle this song, dude. I really can't. Oh, I love Breaking Bad. I watched it years ago. I never really got into any of the follow-through shows of it, like Better Call Saul or any of the other ones, but Breaking Bad was always good. Great show, great writing, you know. All right, market's coming back this morning. Is it coming back alive here? All right, so so the 104% tariffs from China did start. No, I saw El Camino. I did, but I haven't seen any of the other ones. I saw Breaking Bad and El Camino, the movie about Breaking Bad, because it ended things a little bit more. But I'm talking about, like, I never watched Better Call Saul. I heard it was good, though. I really did. Honestly, we got so many shows that we watch. Like, my family watches Game of Thrones. We just watched season 3 with my daughter. Ooh, the Red Wedding. My daughter cried afterwards. We just watched season 4, episode 2, Joffrey's wedding. You know, happier moment. What a great guy. But we also, we like House of Dragon. We also watch most of the Yellowstone series. Like, we liked 1883. We liked 1923. I didn't like Yellowstone as much, especially, like, after season 3 or 4, Yellowstone got kind of stale for me. It's hard for me to finish. But I loved 1923. I loved 1883. More cowboy stuff. But we also watched, like, Stranger Things. We watched The Last of Us. Last of Us new season's coming out Sunday. I'm excited for that, too. But we got a lot of different series that we watch, to be honest. My wife is really into, like, monarch history with, like, the War of the Roses and, you know, the Tudor dynasty and King Henry and all that stuff. For her anniversary, I got her like a super old, it was like a 500-600 year old coin that had King Henry, yeah, so this was like a 578-year-old coin that had King Henry's face on it, graded and everything. It was fun. But yeah. All right, guys. Hey, we got 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes here. No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, Severance. We've seen the first, like, 7 or 8 episodes of Severance. To be honest, part of the reason we haven't finished it, it's so dull. Like, it's not dull. It's exciting. The color scheme is kind of depressing, though. I don't like it. It's kind of, like, depressing to watch, I think. Like, oh, this guy's trapped at work. Let's watch him at work. Like, ooh, you know. Like, it just kind of, I don't know. Like, everybody loved it. And maybe it gets more exciting into season 2. But I got kind of bored with it, to be honest. Just because of the color scheme. It felt kind of depressing to watch. you know. Yeah, we watched Sons of Anarchy. We watched those two. They were good. That was a long time ago, but they were good. We watched all of them. All right, guys, we're at 17,234s. Still in this small range here, honestly. So we've dropped a lot this morning, rebound back up, consolidated, and now we're sitting kind of tight here. We'll see what happens. Right, exactly, pew pew. Yeah, I've seen Peaky Blinders for some. I've seen some of Peaky Blinders, but I never finished it. We got into like season 2 of it and didn't finish. There's a lot of shows we started and didn't finish. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the VIX here. The VIX, all the way down to 52s this morning on this rebound, but still pretty high for the VIX. I mean, the VIX at 53s, 52s. Still a pretty high level for it. All right, markets are starting to turn back down here. I think we specifically got to watch the NASDAQ, the NQ, technically red on the day again. Walmart CFO says, while the market might be a little nervous about consumer sentiment, there is nothing that changes our view. Oh, How I Met Your Mother's great. I actually like it. We watched it with my family, though. So, like, we watched it with the kids. They loved it. I've seen it a couple times, to be honest, How I Met Your Mother. I've seen it. Like, we watched it 5 years ago or so, 6 years ago, and then we watched it again this past year. Good show. All right, guys. Hey, I'm talking about markets. I'm talking about shows right now because the market has been very flat sideways over the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We're just waiting for this opening bell to hit here. Oh, I love Black Mirror. Black Mirror's great. I loved all of them. Soup. Those are shows. Black Mirrors are shows that'll stay with you over time. And honestly, what's kind of crazy, what I find very crazy, is that movies have essentially predicted the future of technology in a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. Simulation theory, Matrix, AI taking off. Terminator, all this different stuff, right? Like, very interesting, very interesting. And like, what's weird is like we watched Black Mirror. Like, there's episodes about how they would program people and take those people and put them in an afterlife or like do all this crazy stuff, right? And now it's becoming more and more possible for that stuff to be here. And so it's very weird, very strange. Great show, though. Love it. Anyways, market's starting to fall down a little bit. We're at 17,150s. 17,150s. Apple just went red on the day, testing the 200 exponential. Nvidia turning a little bit. Still green on the day, though. Bouncing off a 99 at the top. NASDAQ still red. Microsoft turning down a little bit as well. Heading into the opening bell in 4 minutes, chat. 4 minutes into the opening bell. Let's see what we get. The question is, did they predict or inspire? Yeah, that's the real question. All right, guys, we're heading into the opening bell. We got this calm music relaxing our nerves before we start trading the opening bell here. 3 minutes here, chat. 3 minutes. Bro, did you used to have a sports car back in your younger days? You want my social too? You want my mother's maiden name? What do you need, bro? You know, social is 777-88996. You're welcome. You know, come on now. All right, guys, so we're about to back up to 17.2s here. Chat, 17.2s on the NASDAQ. Alibaba right at $100 here. All right, here we go, guys. 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. My date of birth is 1/1/1900. That's right. I'm 125 years old today. Or as of this year, I should say. All right, guys, market's bouncing up a little bit, but Apple opening up red. Nvidia honestly testing $100 though at the opening bell. We got less than 2 minutes. All right, guys, here we go. Here's the opening bell. Nvidia honestly shooting up though. Look at Nvidia at $99 a share. What a calm interlude into the opening bell today, guys. What a lovely song. Yeah, definitely top 3 oldest ever. All right, guys, we got 1 minute. 1 minute. All right, chat. Less than a minute here. We got 50 seconds left. 50 seconds left until the opening bell. Again, we are day trading on Top Steps funded account program today. They give you a 50K demo. They test your skill. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what the base one's $50. Great way to learn how to day trade. If you pass them, you get a 90% split, first 10K in profit, and they've paid out almost $200 million in the last few years. Fund thousands of traders. Just a great way to learn how to day trade. And if you pass it, very similar to funding your own account. They are an affiliate of mine. I am biased, not an investment professional. Heading into the opening bell, guys. Don't copy me. I'm not liable if you lose money. With that said, let's take a look at the opening bell today, guys. Let's take a look. Here's the link if you want to check it out. There's the opening bell here. We got Nvidia shooting up to 99.4s at the opening bell, 99.4s. Look at this big surge, at least at the opening bell. Apple popped up a little bit, but got rejected back down. Amazon is moving higher here. Microsoft is bouncing up some as well, although Apple just rejected 173s. Nvidia started to turn down, and the market did retrace a little bit since the opening bell happened here. Again, Microsoft at 354.40. Amazon's pushing up. It's dragging the market up a little bit here. Apple came back some. It's at 173s. Nvidia turned down, though. It's at 98.50s right now, 98.50s. Look at this retracement in the NQ. Although Apple's heading up some. Let's see if it continues. Minutes report at 2 p.m. today. We will be streaming that live like we always do. All right, look at this turnaround here. Let's check out news. Make sure we're not missing anything. I don't see anything yet. I'm gonna wait for this range right here to break. You can kind of see this range here. I'm gonna wait for that range to break. That is the range that I'm watching here. Apple surging up to 175s or so. Nvidia still struggling to get over 99s, but the NASDAQ is following markets up. Tesla bouncing back to almost 228. Nvidia rebounding back up. We did just break that opening range here. Microsoft at 356. I gotta wait for the opening bell to pass first. It's still a little early for me to trade. See if we continue higher here. NASDAQ's bouncing. Nvidia at 100. They're 99.50s, I should say. Apple at 175s. It's a good optimistic look here. I need to wait for things to play out first, but we're about 2.5 minutes into the opening bell. Good green action into the bell. Microsoft up. Palantir up. Let's see what else we got. All right, markets are moving, guys. Markets are moving. All right, let's see if we get a dip. That's a big pullback here. I gotta wait for some of this volatility to curb some. I was thinking about buying 17.3s, but this is a big red candle here. So Nvidia has also turned down some, but Apple resurging back up here. Maybe I should have bought this dip. Apple over 175s. Yeah, I'm waiting here, Chad. I'm not messing with anything yet. I gotta wait. We got the Fed minutes report today. We're 4 minutes into the open, so we got a little time now. Things look pretty strong here, but it's a pullback. Kind of want to buy that dip to 17.3s, but problem is Nvidia's turning down here. Look at Nvidia. Under 98s. Let's check market news. Make sure nothing. All right. The president posted, quote, "Be cool. Everything is going to work out well. The USC will be bigger and better than ever before," end quote. Market's turning down. I would just be very, very careful here. Guys, there's 17.3s. Back up. Yeah, again, my levels are usually pretty solid, but they're not really getting respected as of now here, so I'm just waiting. So we're dipping down some here. Yeah, it's too indecisive right now, man. We gotta wait for a trend, some type of momentum. Good start to the day, though. Looking at 275s here, but how are you guys doing today? You guys doing good? Yeah, look, we're starting to turn to the red side here a little bit. Apple up to 175 though. I mean, if Apple starts to surge, I'm gonna buy this, and then we'll add a little bit here. Apple's right at highs, so we got two contracts. We're gonna take half off there, lock that in. Take the other half there, locked it in. Just made about $30 real quick. I saw Apple about to break highs, so we thought we would buy that strength, and it worked out. So I don't know if we're green or red. We're slightly red on the day, but we're basically break even now, I think. Again, we're going to wait for some opportune moments to trade. Apple went up there, got a liquidity grab, and basically started coming back down here. So glad I got out. NASDAQ trying to go red on the day. I don't understand from a fundamental view why is Apple rising, because it's not going to go straight down even if it isn't a downward trend. Some days it's going to open green. Doesn't mean it's always red. That's never, you know, if every time something was in a downward trend, if it was always red, then it would be very easy to make money. You just short blindly into everything because it's always red. Sometimes you're going to get bounces. Typically a downtrend looks like what? Like this, which means that you're going to get a green day, you know, pretty regularly during those moments. I'm not even saying Apple. I mean, Apple's obviously in a downtrend. It doesn't mean it's not going to reverse and start coming back up. But yeah, I mean, fundamentally, that's kind of what it is. Apple can be weak because of tariff news and still have a green open. Yeah, a lot of apprehension in markets is what I'm seeing right now. Like, I don't really see here's Apple breaking highs of the day again, but it's not really following through here yet. NASDAQ's starting to resurge though, back up. Microsoft's green. Look at that candle here, chat. Wow. Look at that candle here. Look at that candle here, guys. Wow. Look at that. Huge candle on the N cube. Massive move here, chat. Massive move on the NASDAQ. See if we got anything going on. All right, so look at this green action here, chat. Wow. Pop it up. Yeah, he said, quote, "This is a great time to buy," end quote. I'm not telling you should buy it. I'm just quoting him, trying to see what's influencing the market right now. But everything surged up on this. Here's 450s. Look at my level here, man. Look at that. I was really wanting to short it here, but that's too strong of a green candle. But look at that level here. You love to see it. Apple up big, almost up to 180s here. Look at this move, coming right back up here. We got 17.5s above us still. Heading back up here, guys. See what Apple does here. Nvidia over 100. Well over 17.5s again here, chat. Still just churning up here. Look at this green action. Nvidia popping up over 100. Tesla over 232s. Amazon over 173s. Nvidia over 100. Like I said, Microsoft over 360s. NASDAQ, again, pumping back up to 17.5s here, guys. 17.5s. We got the Fed minutes report today, too. $17,550. And mark that as a level now, too. Still pretty flat on the day for me. I mean, we're 12 minutes into the open, but I got to just be really careful, to be honest, here with all the stuff going on, man. All right, so here's a pullback. I guess the question is, do you buy the dip into this? I guess I'll try to 450 dip buy here if we can get a low. I need it down there though. If not, we're just gonna wait. Ah, got really close. Got really close. No. Could have maybe called it, but might regret not buying it here. My level just, we got very close to the level and now we're bouncing back up, but it's okay. I don't know if I like the retest of it too. That was my dip buy zone. Should have got in maybe a little bit over it, but it's okay. We'll just wait now. Again, honestly, with the last few days, I don't really trust anything here. Like, I certainly don't trust this big move because the market the last few days has kind of come right back down here. And again, I'm not going to attack the retest of my level. I don't buy retests. Nvidia's too flat, under $100 now at 99. Just in the terms of Nvidia trend, it's looking a little sketchy, and honestly, breaking news has happened so fast. Do I short this here, is what I'm wondering. I'll try. It's a risk though, for sure. All right, we're out. We just made another $30 or so. We're now green on the day here. You can kind of see it here. We're now green on the day. Shorted that 450 level. Gonna wait. Patience. Yeah, let's see if this high up here holds at 360s, 361s, 360s, 350s maybe. Let's look at this right here, 350. Here's the bounce. Yep. Let's see if it holds now though. Yep, there it is. Could have taken it, but again, we're kind of middle range. I got to be very wary and just selective with my trades today, to be honest. Are you guys red or green today, guys? Let me know in chat. Are you guys red or green? And again, guys, I am trading on TopStep X right now. TopStep X. TopStep gives you a 50K demo. They test your skill. It's a great way to learn. Most day traders lose. I don't care who your mentor is, what course you take, who you follow. Almost all day traders lose money, especially in the first few years. And they usually, it's called market tuition. You usually lose for years before you win. And so it makes no sense to fund your own account 5, 10, 20, 30 grand and just give it away to the market while you learn. Instead, try a funded account program while you're learning. It's much more logical. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K in profit on the base one without losing 2K first, following their rules, they fund you 50K with a 90% split and they pay out millions. They fund thousands. A great way to learn how to day trade. It's the best of both worlds is what I always describe it, because the base one's 50 bucks. If you could pass it, you get a 50K funded account with a 90% split, which is what you see me trading on right now. Like, I keep 90% of my profits on this thing. If I fail, I lose 50 bucks. So it's limited risk, similar reward to funding your own account. You get to keep your first 10K in profit as well. No PDT rule. It's just a great way to learn. TopStep's been around for over 12 years. And if you use TopStep X, there's zero commission. So I can take these little $30, $40, $50 trades and still net a lot of the profit. There's fees, but no commission. It's just a good way to learn. They are an affiliate of mine, though. Remember, super biased, of course, because I get paid by them. Understand CFTC 4.41. There's the link in chat if you want to check it out. Understand all the stuff on screen. Not an investment professional, biased in their favor. Confirm it all with them. Can't guarantee anything. Check it out with them. With that said, though, guys, we're still battling that 350, 360 level on the NQ. Very flat. I'm wondering how the FOMC minutes report is going to influence things at 2 p.m. today. And again, remember, we will be streaming this live as we speak, chat. Live as we speak. The VIX heading back up right now as we speak. Kind of want to buy this zone, but Should have bought it. Should have bought it. Ah. Should have bought it. It's alright. I'm not going to cry about it that much. Should have bought that 73 level, but that's all good. We got 12 minutes. All right, guys, so we're kind of sideways now here. The market's very apprehensive today. Big range, but choppy sideways neutral activity here. I do kind of tempted to buy up to 450s, but I'm going to wait. I see Apple resurging back up, which is good. Yeah, I should have bought it. Not really going with my intuition today. Although we are green in this one. Yep, there's the bounce. Kind of wanted to buy it up to 450s, but it's a little late now. I'll have to wait for another idea. Almost hit 450s. I got up to 440, so my reward target would have worked there too. You got to watch Apple here. I kind of want to buy this dip. Watch Apple. All right, I'll try buying it. Ugh. We'll add to it here. Play with the reward that we have. Almost green. I'm going to cut half of that off and just protect it and then wait so I don't lose too much if I lose. Alright, cool. Made another $50 there. Could have held that 2 contract position. I was looking at 450s at the original trade. We're keep hitting 440s. Eesh. Kind of nervous about trading this market, to be honest. We're green, you know, don't get me wrong. Like, here's our P&L. Today it is. Our P&L starts like here. So somehow we're green, but we're not super green. We're kind of back and forth. There's 450s hitting. You got to watch Apple here. I think Nvidia, Apple leading the market. Nvidia popping up to $100 a share again. Nvidia shooting up to 100s. Nvidia over 100s. Now we're at 17.5s, a pretty big psychological level for the NASDAQ here. We're at that 1,000 level, 17.5s. Rejecting there. Yeah, I mean, these support and resistance levels are drawn. It doesn't mean we're going to follow them to a perfect amount. Like, we can rip over these levels, obviously, and go to the next level and then reject back down and then fight our way back up it and then go to the next level, reject back down. If we're on a really strong upward trend, we're still going to break over, like, support or resistance areas. But sometimes, like, we'll break over them, retest this, pull back here, rebound back up, kind of like we did just now. But it doesn't mean anything yet. Like, we could always hold and break and do anything to these levels. They're just kind of, they're the easiest way to, they're like stop signs, right? Like, the levels are like stop signs where we might stop at them initially, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes the market just kind of blows right past them. But a lot of the time, we're going to stop, consolidate, go back down, go back up. And if you can catch the stop, you can make money from it. But you can also find good risk reward scenarios in which, you know, you have a bigger reward target and a smaller risk, and, you know, use it like that. That's possible too. What are your thoughts? All right, so look, there's 17 fives. Nvidia started to turn a little bit. Apple started to turn. We got the Fed minutes today. Remember, Fed minutes. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be streaming that live. Let me go. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and schedule that now. Ooh. All right. All right, so we still held that 450 level, still going back up. Yeah, again, I'm pretty cautious today, guys. Like, we're green on this account. We've been green since the opening bell. And usually we do well after the opening bell. The times when I lose is usually when I get a little spicy in pre-market, but we're very choppy in a lot of ways, although we are testing the top of the chop, if that makes sense. Like, we're going sideways since the open from a lot of stuff, but we're testing the top of the range here. So we're up since the opening bell. It doesn't mean anything, though. If the last few days have shown us anything, it's very possible that we also just kind of dive back down, especially with volatile reports like the FOMC minutes report coming out at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. And so, yeah, y'all just be careful is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we got the Fed minutes report today, 2 p.m. We will be streaming that live. Nvidia over 100, Apple testing 178. This looks good. It looks green, right? Based off of blue chip action. The FOMC minutes is not going to be a cut. It's going to be a foresight report. Like, it's a 12-page document that It's a 12-page document that details why the Fed chose to make the decision that they did in the last Fed meeting, as well as give foresight into what they might potentially do in the next Fed meeting, right? So Powell, it's going to be looking at what Powell said last meeting, what the Fed said last meeting, what their insight is into the future based off of things. And so, you know, it might move stuff. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. We're going to stream it all live, break it down in detailed reports. Yeah, most day traders lose, you know, and so that's why like Top Step's valuable. You got some people that hate on it, but like Top Step incredibly powerful of a tool for traders. Like I lost thousands when I first got started, thousands. I thought I was gonna be like the trading savant of the century, you know, prodigy. I was gonna be like the robot guy from Grandma's Boy, but for trading, you know. Instead, I just lost thousands of dollars in my first couple weeks trying to day trade. And I think Top Step does things to limit that risk. Instead of losing thousands, you lose $50 for the base one if you fail it. It's a monthly subscription, but I think that's a useful thing, you know. And most day traders lose, and so. Yeah, all I know is I'm tuning in for the Fed minutes report. We're kind of choppy sideways right now, though, guys. I'm waiting. I don't think we have any 10 a.m. reports either. Let me make sure. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, we don't really have. We got wholesale inventories. I don't think these are really going to move things. Yeah, I mean, there's an activation fee if you actually pass it, but if you fail it, which is what most traders are going to do, then you don't have to pay that. And it's just kind of, and again, if you fail it and then you want to still learn, they give you a practice account with real-time data for you to practice on, help build your skill up so you can hopefully one day pass it. All right, Tesla just retraced a lot here. Look at this. It's at 233s, 232s. Look at this. Broke 235s, liquidity grab. But look at the market rip here, chat. Holding at that 450 level. Look at the move up. We're at 178 for Apple. 178.30s. Look at this move. Nvidia, Tesla. Nvidia up to 101s right now. Just broke highs of the day again, chat. Very strong move on the upside. Wholesale inventories may be helping the market. They showed up. Let me see what they showed up as. They showed up at 0.3% and 2.4% gain versus minus 0.9%. So the change in the total value of sales at the wholesale level was 2.4%. Maybe giving optimism to markets. We also have crude oil inventories, which might be relevant with the oil stuff going on lately. Is oil bouncing back right now? The VIX is heading down. It's under 50 for a little bit. Oil is rebounding back up. It's almost to 58s too. I don't know if we're going to see a crash at 2 p.m. I mean, anything could happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, generally the Fed minutes is not going to have that much influence. Tomorrow's CPI report is probably going to make a bigger influence for markets. So. All right, NASDAQ still looks strong. Look at Nvidia pump it up. Apple move it up too. Apple hadn't broken that high yet at 178, 179 or so. And again, guys, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We are going to cover the FOMC minutes live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So be ready, guys. FOMC minutes report 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Streaming it live like we always do. Markets are pushing up towards green levels here. Do we hold here, guys? I'm going to do another poll real quick. All right, so the new poll right now is, does the market hold these opening bell gains or reverse into the close today? Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. Do we hold or reverse, chat? Hold or reverse? Most people think reverse so far out of about 30 votes in about 10 seconds. 73% say reverse, 27% say hold, 25. So it looks like we're 3-1 favorite on reverse. Yeah, let's see what the interest rates are looking like right now here too. So again, interest rate wise, we are looking at 58.5% likelihood of a cut, or I'm sorry, a pause, actually, I'm sorry. So it's all the way back to the other side now. So at this point, the market is pricing in a 60% chance of a pause. This is a pause. %60 chance of a pause in May in terms of rates. And this changed. This pivoted back and forth. So this morning it was 60% chance of a cut. Now it's a 60% chance of a pause here. Yeah, honestly, it's going back and forth, back and forth. So I don't know how reliable it is right now. Bitcoin pushing up today, up to 78.5s, almost 78.5s. Do we continue up this morning, guys? I can't lie. Part of me wants to short it right here. How much are we up today? Well, we got a cushion. We also have this account that we haven't traded on this morning. And as I say that, we start to freaking reverse. It's just a risky thing. Yep. All right, so I just made another $30 on that other account, but I thought we might reverse. We started to here. I got out right around 450s, but yeah, I mean, I'm not lying. Look here. We just made $21 or so. Yeah, no, I said it looks like it's going to reverse too. This is what I just said. And honestly, it was like almost on par with exactly when I said it too. The market started to turn. It just didn't push up enough to help the trend. And I think even if we continue in this upward trend, like looking at Apple, a pullback to this pivot point of the VWAP here at 175 makes sense. Even so, like up, down, up, down, up. Even if we continue in the trend, we still need to pull back a little bit here. Same thing with Nvidia, right? Up, pull back, up if we're going to continue up. So a pullback made sense there, I think. And that's kind of what I attacked, but still very small. Yeah, John, you called it. Glad I held my puts. Yeah, I don't really want you guys to copy me because I could be wildly wrong, you know, but good job, I guess. Happy for you if you made money. And then, you know, short, I think like some of the best trades, just to put this into perspective, are trades where you can jump in short, like up here. If we pull back here, you could add more and then hold it break even like right there. you know, and that way if it continues down and does like a full-on reversal, you're going to make tons of money. But if it goes back up, you're flat, right? So you didn't lose anything. And so potential to make big returns and like bigger, broader moves on the downside like this. Get your mind out the gutter, guys. That's all I'm saying. But also like limited risk, right? So if you do have it turn against you, you're flat on the day, if that makes sense. And so sometimes those are the best trades. All right, guys, honestly, we've gone back and forth. We're pretty flat down the freaking middle. I'm going to be back for the FOMC Minutes Report live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Be ready. Market might be chaotic. We're going to start the stream a little bit earlier. So just be ready here, guys. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. We'll be back a little bit later on today. Again, be safe in these markets, guys. Be safe. We got a little rebound, but then a pullback here. Again, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. We will be streaming live for the Fed Minutes Report. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button on the stream. Cheers to you guys. Y'all be safe. Remember, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything. Everything I say. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Don't copy me, guys. Top 3 worst trader of all time out. I'll see you guys later. 2 p.m.